Hello, well, welcome if you're new here. My name is Avery, and all of my videos are usually related to budgeting or my personal finances. Today's video, I am going to be tracking my expenses. This is something I do in the budgeting software YNAB or You Need a Budget. Typically, it's something I do every Sunday morning, but I do not keep a consistent schedule. I just tend to do it on a weekly basis where I go in to all of my accounts, add in any transactions and clear any transactions that might have come out, reconcile all of my balances, and that's pretty much it. I thought maybe it would be good for me to start doing these as a weekly video because if you saw a few videos ago, I fell behind on this and I had to spend quite a while cleaning up my budget and tracking like multiple weeks of transactions. So to keep myself accountable, I'm going to attempt to film these each week. I personally am looking forward to this because I want to use it as a time to reflect on how the week went, examine the purchases I made and how I feel about them, and hopefully it'll set me up well for the next week or the week to come because I will have a better understanding on where I'm at on my previous week's spending along with how I'm doing overall this month so far. If you want to try YNAB, I'll leave a link down below for a 34-day free trial. If you subscribe using my link, you will get 1 month free in addition to the trial, and I will also get a month free. So just something to keep in mind. Another thing that I think I will like about this video is I also get to get on here and talk to you all a bit more, or at least share how my week went and how I felt about it, because I do like sharing more about my life and not just cold hard numbers on this channel if I can. But yes, let's get into this. For this week, most of my spending happens on my credit cards, but I'm going to start with my bank account because usually that's the easiest to reconcile. I thought last week was pretty good. So I'm talking about today's December 15th, so last Sunday to this Sunday was a pretty good week in my opinion. Because I thought it was good because I did not do that bad with my diet and my exercise goals. As we know, I had been in probably a multi-year long rut, and this week felt like the first week where I had pretty consistent time with eating well, moving my body, and just getting what I need done without stressing out about it. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm hoping that I can continue just building those weeks on top of each other. As far as what happened this past week, not a lot has happened. I just worked, which I go into the office every day, and honestly not a lot happened after that because I had been focused on eating well, that I really didn't do a whole lot of dining out until this weekend. And even then, I feel like this was a really good week for me, spending wise on food. I think so. But now once I track my expenses, we'll see if my bank accounts agree. But I really did not buy anything out and about during the week. It wasn't until like Friday night to now Sunday afternoon where I've done some spending outside the house on food. Does that make sense? And what I'm really liking about that is so if I'm eating well, that means I tend to be eating healthier things with smaller portions, which means the food I have in my house is lasting longer. And since I'm not buying a lot of food out and about, in theory, I'm not spending that much on food. But yes, as far as my bank account, like my main checking account / my only checking account transactions, I'm going to clear all of these uncleared transactions because this is not connected to YNAB. So I have to do it all manually, but you can connect them if you want. as mentioned previously, some of mine are connected and some are not. And there's some logic to it, but also, I don't know. This is just what I've been doing. So I had my paycheck come through and that cleared. And then I made a credit card payment. So that went out. I spent $120 at the groomers. I spent $230. These are all credit card payments that have already been accounted for. I have one more transaction on here, and this was for, I need to fix these. I know I said I don't care about pays, but this one in particular bothers me because why was I being so inconsistent about it, So Cash App / Venmo, I sent money to Nathan because he bought these like Legos that I needed for a toy drive at my work, and I was just cash apping him the difference. So that was $25 for 2 like Star Wars Legos. So that happened, and I think that's the only like transaction that's gone out, but I need to input an inflow. None of this makes any sense when I tell you this. So, and I'm trying to, not do this as much, but this is how Nathan's brain works. I think we just keep sending the same $50 back and forth, but it still continues. So if it was up to me, I would not do that, but he just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, when I say it's up to me, I would not do that. At the same time, I kind of get it because when I have expenses, like if I pay for something for him at the store, and then if he was like, well, I'll buy you dinner, I feel like it messes up my tracking because, like, say I buy something, or let me reverse it. So if I spend money buying us dinner and he's like, well, I'll send you a portion of the money, that makes sense because it'll cancel out. So it doesn't look like I spent that money. And maybe this does not matter in the slightest, but if I buy us dinner, and then he's like, well, I'll cover this thing at the household store. I don't know. Like, it messes up my spending because then it looks like I've spent a lot of money on dining out and I've spent $0 on household. Maybe this is all true. See, when I'm talking about it, I'm like, yeah, who cares? Like, it's completely irrational, illogical. That being said, I need to input a transaction from Cash App / Venmo and cash out the money he sent to me, which was $60, and I need to split this 2 different ways. So 15 and 45. I keep the same pays on these split transactions. So $15 is gonna go into spin class. He sent me $15 for a late cancellation fee. He's enabling me. I'm gonna say it that way. And then he sent me $45. I'm gonna input this into fun because I bought concert tickets for Magdalena Bay. They're coming to Ohio, and I really want to go. I feel like I have coastal music tastes, like music. I like musicians who tend to only play New York, Los Angeles, and like maybe Chicago. I don't live in any of those areas. So when they said they were coming to Ohio, I got them tickets instantly. But yeah, he sent me $45 for his portion of that, so save. And I'm gonna go ahead and cash this out from Cash App. When you get sent money to you on Cash App or Venmo, do you do the instant withdrawal where you pay a little fee? Or do you do the standard, which doesn't cost you anything? It says if I do instant, it's $1.05 versus standard, it'll come on Tuesday. What I really like about YNAB and tracking my spending like this is let me answer what I do. So I never do the instant anymore. I always do the standard amount so I get the full amount sent to me. Because I don't need the money instantly. I know, since I'm tracking all of my expenses, how things will settle in my bank account before it even happens, before it like fully clears. And I already know that like this $60 is not going to make or break me. And part of this is just keeping a higher starting balance in this account now that I'm older and have a full-time job. But when I was younger and in college, my like buffer amount that I kept in my checking was, I had it at different points over the years, but when I was in college, I was making like $9 an hour. So really my buffer amount was $100. I was like, well, if I have $100, I'll never want to go below $100. And at some point I made it like 300. But when you're running it that close to empty, suddenly it does matter like what transactions are going to come out and when they're going to come out and what transactions are going to, like, what money's going to come in. But another thing about that is I used to use my debit card a lot more, but as I've gotten older, I almost never use my debit card. It is just used to make, like, if you see basically essentially payments, because Cash App, for debts, because like if I owe Nathan money, it's like I owe a minor debt to him, similar to my credit cards. Like that's a debt until I pay it. So basically this money I'm no longer buying, other than the groomers, because they charge me a credit card fee if I use my credit card there. All these other transactions are just like me settling minor debt payments, if that makes sense. But yeah, all that to be said, I am going to withdraw it on the standard time frame, and it's going to come on Tuesday, which is literally not that much time anyways for it to end up in my bank. But yes, that's something I really like about where I've gotten with my finances, that it no longer is the end of the world if I buy something for someone and it takes them a little bit of time to send it to me, or a little bit of time for me to transfer it to the bank. That being said, I really wish he would fix his Zelle account, because I really don't see a point of using Cash App or Venmo when Zelle exists. I don't have a Venmo account anymore anyways, because I honestly don't know exactly what happened, but I had this feeling that someone was trying to like test my account to like hack into it. I don't like Venmo that much anyways. Like, I think Cash App, if you have to use one of these apps, is the better app. So I just closed my Venmo account. And of course, sometimes I run into situations where people are like, can you Venmo it to me? I'm like, how about Cash App? Or is that, like, we figure it out. So it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to leave that $60 as uncleared for now, because it hasn't actually cleared in my bank account yet, which means my cleared balance is $1,526.78, and I'll just reconcile that. It matches my checking account app. And then my savings account, I've toyed with getting rid of this account and just keeping my main checking and my high yield savings. If I did this, I would just take this $1,000 and leave it. It would just stay in my checking. Because right now I'm kind of just using it as a backup to my main checking, because they're at the same banking institution. But for 2025, I've really been thinking about how can I simplify my account situation, which I don't even necessarily have like an overly complicated account situation. But I still think there's room for simplification, because I just think it would be cleaner to me. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should I just get rid of this main savings account and keep it in my checking account? Or do you see any reason or benefit to keeping a savings account at like a brick and mortar institution? Something to think about. But when I opened my high yield savings account, I moved almost all the money from my regular savings account to my high yield savings account, so I could take advantage of the interest. My high yield savings account should only have one transaction right now. Which is just my paycheck clearing, because I had it set up to put $500 into this account each paycheck. I've just now lowered it to $300. Actually, no, I have changed it to not put any money in here for my next paycheck, and I might do that for like 1 or 2 paychecks, because December is a very expensive month. I haven't really feel like I've seen it yet, but I know it's coming, because I still need to deal with Christmas gifts. I still need to buy or pay my final payment on my cruise, and all of this is going to happen basically through my credit cards. So I want to make sure I have enough money in my checking account in order to pay those off, which means I don't need to put as much money into my savings account. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm talking about. But this last paycheck, it did put $500 in there. So let's see. I'm thinking maybe it hasn't cleared yet. Hold on, because it's telling me, or let me make sure, I guess, that I haven't screwed this up, because I also manually track this one. So yes, 12. I'm gonna change this to 12/13. That's when it went in. I had my interest payment, and then another paycheck, and then another paycheck, and then another paycheck, and then interest. I'm thinking this just has not cleared yet. I'll keep looking, I guess. And just make sure, because it's still telling me 14. Wait. Oh, I can't even count. Okay, I'm so dumb. Yes, it's cleared, and the balance is now $14,302.47. So I'm gonna reconcile that. I don't know what I was doing, honestly. It is Sunday afternoon. It's very rainy here right now. Has this been the most wintry winter yet? I feel like the last few years in Ohio have been very mild and also kind of dry. And so far, we've had like 20 and 30-degree days, which I don't even feel like happened until maybe January, February. But they are I know that's what winter is essentially supposed to be, but it is a bit of a shock to the system how cold it's been. And I don't like it, because when I go to the office, Nathan will drop me off in the morning, and then I take the bus home. But when he drops me off in the morning, that's easy because he drops me off right at the door. I just wear whatever I'm going to wear into the office. Like, I don't even put my winter coat on. But when I leave for the day and I have to get on the bus, I put on my winter coat, because I have to walk a little bit to the bus stop, and then the stop I get off at, I have to walk a little bit from there to the house. But it's not like a super long walk, but you can feel winter in every single step of that walk. And I have not winterized my clothes for work, aka I just have not bought any winter clothes. And my reasoning for that is I've been wearing dresses every day to work, because this past year I've had issues with my weight. So all my jeans and pants don't fit. And I had some other issues I will not get into, but just know dresses were the best option. But now that it's winter and I'm walking and it's freaking freezing and windy, I need to dress a little better so I'm not freezing waiting for the bus stop. At the same time, I don't want to buy any new jeans. I want to just continue what I've been doing for the past couple weeks with eating well and moving my body, and hopefully bring my weight down, at least bring down the bloating, to get to a point where I can fit into my old jeans, which maybe that's not the healthiest way to think about it, but to me, I prefer that. So that's kind of where I'm at currently. That being said, I'm thinking about like buying like tights or whatever, and maybe like a nice pair of boots to wear to work. That way I can not be as cold in theory. But buying tights slash like pantyhose, those things, oh, they suck, don't they? So I haven't really put a lot of thought into it yet, because it's December 15th today. I'm going to be working from home tomorrow. I have like a doctor's appointment and things like that. So then I have just 4 days for the rest of the week. And then the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm working from home throughout those weeks. So I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing or wearing business casual or whatever. But I do know I need to winterize my clothing. So I'm probably going to need to start thinking about that soon. Moving on to my Capital One card. So let me talk about what I'm thinking about doing, consolidating my credit cards. I really wish I could get rid of the Journey card, because it's like my least valuable card, but it's my oldest one, so I kind of feel obligated to keep it open. My newest one, my Travel Amex, and my first one with a fee, I am going to cancel this one before it renews in August. I feel pretty confident about that because I just don't spend enough. When I got the bonus, like initial account opening bonus, miles, that helped with purchasing flights, but now that there's no welcome or introductory bonus, I'm just not getting enough miles or spending enough money on this card to be able to take advantage of the main aspect of it, which is supposed to help you with travel. That being said, I do have this thing, and the only thing I need to figure out is if I cancel it, should I cancel it, but can I cancel it now, or do I need to wait until I use the main benefit of it, which is they give you at each year anniversary a companion certificate. My understanding is essentially kind of like a buy one get one. You pay the fee, you pay the taxes and fees or whatever, but like a buy one get one, and you can use that for pretty expensive flights like Hawaii. Like we could go to Hawaii and essentially get one ticket free. We could go to Alaska. I'd love to go to Alaska. I don't know why, it just sounds like it'd be so pretty and interesting to be that far, along with Hawaii, since they're not on the continent. Yeah, well, they're not in the contiguous parts of the United States. They're off on their own, so that would be interesting. But yeah, so this card, the Travel Amex, has a $350 a year fee, which is a lot, but in my head I was thinking, one, I got the introductory bonus, which helps, like bonus miles. Then even if like you didn't get much use out of it other than that, if you just plan one trip a year and you go anywhere, buying one flight, most flights cost more than $350, at least from Ohio. So you would essentially still get the value of the card. But I've not actually done that yet because I've had the card for just a little over a year now. So once I try that experience, which I'm not sure where we'll use it, I don't know. And I think like if I like that experience or if I think it's weird or too difficult, it'll definitely get canceled. But right now I'm leaning like pretty hard towards cancellation until noted otherwise. And I know that like American Express, people like it, or it's kind of like a status thing. But I'm also just kind of considering getting rid of my other American Express. I don't know though, because I just don't feel like, I feel like credit cards do not have the rewards that they used to. I could be completely wrong though, but the impression that I get is that credit card churning or credit card bonuses used to be a lot better in the past. You can correct me in the comments, but I also don't churn credit cards. Just the feeling that I get is that they're not useful. Another thing that's annoying about, let me go back to the Travel Amex. Another thing that is annoying about this is I have like 40,000 miles on here, but they don't have like they don't let you have a cash value, which my other cards have, like, you could redeem them for cash back or whatever. So not only do I have 40,000 miles, but somehow that's not enough for a flight. It's been a waste of my time to use this card, essentially, even though I've been trying to stack them up. So I've like already started transitioning away from this and into like just some other cards. Just this one because I haven't put a lot of transactions on it, my regular Amex. My Journey is always just going to get like a couple subscriptions. And then the Quicksilver has like 1.5% cash back. So until proven otherwise, that'll probably be my daily driver again. Another thing to think about is the Quicksilver is a MasterCard. The Amexes are obviously an Amex, and then the Journey is a Visa. I wanted to like get rid of the two. Maybe I wanted to get another Visa, but I don't know. I'm thinking about the Citi Double Cash card. I'm not sure. Because that's 2% cash back. That's on our MasterCard. But I need Visa for Costco. It's just round and round it goes. But Nathan has a Costco card. Like, so on and so forth. Maybe I just I don't know. The problem with like closing both of my Amexes is that my highest credit line is on these as well, which I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's significantly higher than what Capital One has given me. I guess I'll ask them when I cancel the travel if I can shift this credit line back to the regular one, because I'm pretty sure that's what they did when I opened this one, is they just kind of split them. Decisions. Yeah, the theme of 2025 for me is I want to consolidate what I can and simplify what I can to make my life more efficient. And part of that is my finances. Okay, let's look at these actual transactions. So my Psycho Bar membership came out. That was $119. The late cancellation fees. Okay, I'm just clearing these transactions because they matched. So I made a payment. I had 2 late cancel fees, and then the monthly membership. I don't know. Let me check Capital One and see if any other transactions came out. I don't think so, because I have not reached for this card that much. The only other transaction is one that I made today at Starbucks. I had a little bit of money on a gift card. Nathan's work gave him a gift card to Starbucks, like a $10 gift card. I took it. He gave it to me, and I've just used it twice. So obviously Starbucks drinks are very expensive nowadays. So $10 doesn't really get you 2 drinks, like 2 standard drinks, I guess. So I bought one like using, basically, when I went to Starbucks today, I used the remaining amount on the gift card, and then they just charged my regular card the difference, which was $2.50. So that came out. And then on my Journey cards, I just have these transactions that have matched. So I spent $8.59 on subscriptions. This is Apple Care for, I think, my iPad. I have like 2 of them. Let's see, $8.59. One of these is the phone and one of these is the iPad. It might be reversed, actually, that the $8.59 is the phone and $6.44 is the iPad. And then I also spent 99 cents on iCloud storage. Do I really need iCloud storage? Does anyone know? Because I really don't like that it keeps taking my photos. Every time I get a new phone, all of the photos of Christmas past are on there. Like, it stresses me out. Because take a guess how many photos I have on my phone. You probably can't even guess it. It says I have 6,931 screenshots alone, just to give you an idea on what's going on. They updated this app, the phone app or Photos app on iPhone, and I hate it. I can't believe they would do this. Because I'm just trying to figure out how many photos I have on my phone. Let me see. Maybe if I just ask it, it'll tell me. Siri, how many photos do I have on my phone? Okay, she does not understand the concept. Let me try again. Siri, how many photos are on my phone? Okay, this thing is stupid. Does anyone ever talk? Like, if you ever ask it to do something, it does not know what it's doing. So it's interesting when people are like, AI is about to take over. I said, AI can't even understand a basic question when I talk to it, let alone take over the world. Okay, I finally figured it out. It says I have 18,232 photos and 501 videos. As you can imagine, I don't need that many photos or videos, but because they are that, like, it's gotten that high, I don't feel like I can get out from that mountain. And the only reason it's gotten that high is because every time I get a new phone, I used to like a fresh start, but Apple's like, we'll sign into your iCloud and we'll just bring everything that you've ever had with along with you. And I'm like, I don't want all this stuff. When I got this new computer, they were doing like the transfer or whatever. I was like, wait, do not transfer this stuff. I don't want to see it ever again. Also, it took forever that we ended up aborting it, like just canceling the operation, because I don't want any of those documents anyways. I don't organize files like that. I just don't get rid of stuff. I know I don't need it, but I'm not going to sit here and try and parse through deleting 500 videos and 18,000 photos. This whole diatribe, anyways, is about the fact that 99 cents is not enough for like iCloud storage. So I'm like, if we're not even backing everything up and I don't want that stuff anyways, why am I paying 99 cents a month? I know it's only 99 cents, but that's the kind of stuff I think about. So my Spotify came out for $12.89, and that's the only transaction that happened on my Journey card. These Amexes, they just say they're delayed. That's so annoying. Because I've made some purchases today. I know I've said this 10 times, but today's Sunday. Let me tell you what I've done today. I woke up and then I read a little bit of my book. I'm like reading a health book right now because I'm healthy now. Then at 9 o'clock, I went to spin class. That was really hard class. I don't know why, but my legs were tired. My arms were tired. But I did it. I did about 12 miles today. And then I did a lot of dilly-dallying after that. I left and I needed to go into Whole Foods because I have a blender now. I didn't buy it. Nathan bought it. So that's why it doesn't show up on any of these expenses anywhere. But he bought a blender for us, and I've wanted a blender for quite a while because I want to make soup. I want to make my own soup, and I want to make roasted butternut squash soup. So you know exactly what I did. After spin class, back it up. After spin class, I went to a bagel place and got a bagel. So I need to track that transaction. But then after that, I went into Whole Foods because it's kind of close, and I got the ingredients I need to make roasted butternut squash soup. That really wasn't that expensive. The most expensive part was the butternut squash. I even bought like all organic ingredients because I've decided I care about organic again. I just constantly flip back and forth like it does matter, it doesn't matter. I know there's like lists out there about I think like the dirty dozen and the clean whatever, like if you can't afford organic fruits and vegetables and items, you can like review these lists, these mythical lists that exist on the internet that tell you like if you need to pick and choose which ones are the best to pick and choose for. Based off of like pesticides, etc. Like for example, I do your own research because I'm just gonna tell you from the heart what I'm thinking. Like for example, things where you eat the skin, you are better off organic. So like an apple, you tend to eat the skin of it, so it comes in contact with pesticides, question mark, toxic chemicals, something. But like an avocado or a banana, it doesn't necessarily matter that much because you peel it before you eat it. But maybe it does. Point of the matter is, the most expensive item for my butternut squash soup was the butternut squash, which I guess is a good thing. But I'm excited to make that later. So what was my point? I went to the grocery store, Whole Foods, and got that. Then after that, I needed to go to a different part of the city and pick up my prescriptions. And I had 3 to pick up. And I go to this very far, out of the way place for them. I go to like a Kroger that's so far from me. And I pass like 10 Krogers to get there because I used to live in that area. And I've just never have updated my prescription. I've still yet, like 3 or 4 years later, I still have not updated my prescription location after 3 or 4 years. I don't know why. So I get to drive out there and enjoy the view. And it's not even easy to get to either. It's whatever. So I did that. And then I got Starbucks after that because I had a little bit of money on that gift card. And then I went home, grabbed Nathan. Then we went to a gas station because a tire sensor or pressure, a tire, like that light, I'll put up a picture. The exclamation mark symbol showed up on my car. I'm just like, you can't be serious. Cannot be serious. But I looked it up. Since I'm a mechanic and know everything about cars, I looked up what it meant. And it said it could be low tire pressure or it could be the TPMS tire pressure monitoring system, which sounds like the exact same thing in my head. So off to the gas station we went to put more air in the tires. But the light is still on, and I'm just like, how much does that matter? I'm paranoid about my tires because I've had so many broken tires over the years, and some of them because I had cheaper tire, whatever. The point is, I feel like paranoid when I drive anyways, because they don't make these roads that smooth. They're just constantly bumpy. So every time you kind of hit a bump or you're just like bumping along, I'm like, is my tire going flat, or is this just the roadway? It stresses me out to no end. Earlier in the year, I got a flat tire on the highway. That was awesome. And I got a new one, but in my head, I was wondering if I should just replace all the tires. And Nathan was like, no. It's like, whatever. So I didn't, because I thought they would maybe had been ready. Like it was time, like the tread life, something. It'd be time for new tires. But when I got my annual service, they didn't say anything about it either. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need new tires. But now I have the tire sensor light on again. So I'm just like, I should have bought new tires back in August when I was thinking about it. Even if it would have cost $1,000, like, I definitely don't want to do it now. Now that it is Christmas and I've got a bunch of other expenses, I really don't want to scrape up $1,000 to replace all my tires. So I've landed on air in the car, air in the tires, and set it aside for now because I'm not driving that much. Anyways, I don't know. Let me get logged into American Express and see what's going on here. I have spent some money today. Okay, what's going on? I went to a hockey game last night. So that cost, I don't even know what the title is, sports. I bought pizza there because as a nice little treat for the great week that I've had. I don't need to split this transaction. Let me try again. Sports. And this will come out of fun. And I spent $15.93 on like 2 slices of pizza and some water at the arena. Then I spent $4.09 today at the bagel place. So let me put this in here. $4.09. I guess, I don't know why I said the pizza was coming out fun. It can, but I'm going to put it in dining out actually. Then I spent $31.22 at Whole Foods today to get the ingredients for butternut squash. So let me put this in here. $31.22. And finally, well, I don't know why I said finally. Kroger, I spent $19.38 on prescriptions. This was Buspirone, Wellbutrin, potassium. $19.38. I'm not sure on the cost breakdown on those. I'd have to check later. I want in 2025 to get a little better or a little more specific with tracking my medical expenses because I'm just curious how much I'm putting towards things out of pocket, essentially. Then I bought gas while I was at the gas station because whatever, let's get gas. So at the Giant Eagle gas station, I spent, I think, it doesn't show the exact amount, but I'm going to put in what I think it was. Then when this comes inputs or imports, I will clear it then. So out of transportation, $36.41 is I think is what it was. Out of these transactions, none of these have cleared yet, so my balance is still $1.98. Moving over to the travel Amex, I spent, did this come out? $30 at the psychiatry office. Okay, my psychiatrist, they do something where they like put a hold on your card, like put the charge as pending, and then if the appointment happens and things go through ? Then it'll actually post. So sometimes there's a delay, so I was getting confused on that. But no, I did spend $30 at the psychiatry office and it did clear. Then I spent, let me see, this payment came through $488.25. I don't know where the payment's at on this Amex. Oh, there it is. I spent Okay, did Chick-fil-A come out? Because these are all out of order, which I did it to myself. Chick-fil-A, yes. Okay, so where I'm at now is I bought coffee while I was at work one day, and that was $6.75 for truly the worst coffee in the city. I'm convinced all the worst places are right by my office, which is the worst if you did not hear what I just said. And they're the most expensive too. Like, who's doing this to me? I know I could just not do it, but alas. So $6.75 there. Then I spent $10.35 at Market District at Giant Eagle. But what did I buy? I know I bought sushi. Let me put these in the right dates. So the coffee shop posted on 12/10. The Market District, Giant Eagle. I don't know why they name them two different things. Giant Eagle. This is a grocery expense. I spent $10.30. Oh, I know what I bought. I bought sushi, avocado sushi, the best sushi to get at the grocery store sushi place, and like aluminum foil because I need more of that. So that was $10.35. I'm just gonna throw this all in groceries because why else would I be buying foil? Then I spent $12 on parking. I'm not very good at remembering to update the dates on these things. So this happened on December 9th. Then I spent $12 on parking December 12th because it was cold. I didn't want to get on the bus in my little busted outfit and be freezing. So this is parking. This comes out of transportation, which means after this after that, I'll check all these balances to see where I'm at with things and cover any overspending. And then finally, I bought those tickets, which are going to come out of fun, I guess. $89.72 for 2 tickets to Magdalena Bay. As far as all these transactions, what have cleared is all of them, actually. this. So does my balance match? $626.54. It does. So reconciled. Okay, I've reconciled all of these accounts. I'm not going to update any of the tracking because there's been no changes. Moving on, now I need to check and see if anything's overspent, and I need to fix the overspending. Let me close all these. By the way, if you have not, I posted a video on my cruise budget since I'm going on a cruise. If you want to see a more very, very in-depth video on how I calculate an estimated budget, it is my last video on this channel, and it's titled my 2025 cruise budget. So check that out if you're interested in that, because I really like the video, but whenever I really like a video, it never does well. But if you're interested or curious in that, that is on the channel. So to overspent, we're looking at dining out and coffee, which that makes sense. Essentially what I've been doing lately is just putting all the money in the groceries category and then just moving it around to the other food categories if needed. So that's what I do there. So I just covered it using the grocery expenses. Another thing that I like about eating healthy, and I've been trying to do specifically with these next couple weeks, is since Christmas is happening, is that next week? Yeah, since Christmas is happening next week, I'm trying not to buy a lot of groceries. I know, butternut squash aside, I'm trying not to buy a lot of groceries and see how that goes. We're exactly halfway through the month, and I've spent $261.58 on food, which is kind of in line with how I have been doing, which is like $500 to $600 a month. I'd like to get that down, but we'll see what happens. Like, I'm not trying to force anything, or I'm just trying to be more mindful with my spending. Okay, I want to look at all of these categories. So I don't need to do anything with Wish Farm. Looking at food, I have $49.16 until I get paid again next Friday. So 2 weeks from now, but essentially I will get paid again. And I want to, if I can manage it or swing it, not spend, like, not have to pull money from somewhere until, like, I don't want to buy more groceries until after Christmas, is essentially what I'm trying to say. So I kind of need to make this last, like, $50 last between now and after Christmas. At the same time, though, I have a lot of other categories I can pull from if I truly need to buy more groceries. And there will be a lot of, like, actual grocery purchases, I'm sure, that I will more or less attribute to a different category, because that's what I personally do. So, like, if I am buying ingredients for, like, a Christmas casserole or something, like making something for Christmas, it all comes out of my Christmas category. It doesn't come out of my groceries category, which maybe I'm cooking the books a bit with that, but that's makes sense in my mind. Groceries are essentially anything that's not special occasion, and so on and so forth. Like, another example would be, like, my dining out on a vacation comes out of vacation. It doesn't come out of generic dining out. But there's arguments for both ways. Fixed expenses, my rent has come out, phone has come out, car insurance is on track, spin classes are zeroed, Canva comes out at the end of the month. The subscriptions amounts are always fine. I don't need to worry about my financial goals. Okay, transportation. I need to just fill up my gas tank. So essentially, I'd like that to last. Same thing with the food. I only have $26.59 in here, and it should be good because I don't have any plans to drive to work this week. Then the next 2 weeks of the year, I'm not going to the office at all. So I don't need to worry about that. So it really just becomes if I need to get a second tank of gas. I probably don't have enough money in here. I'm not far off. Like, I just filled up for $36. My whole point is, and I don't normally need to, I'm just thinking out loud, I guess, is my whole point. Making sure I don't need to move money around is, I think, no for transportation, because I typically only fill up once, if twice a month. We're already December 15th. I might do some driving. If I fill up, it's going to be, like, pretty close to the end of the year, but that should be fine. It's not the end of the world. I can easily find $10 somewhere. Therapy, I'm not sure what's happening here. My therapist changed her office. She went basically independent, but she said she'd still accept my insurance. But then it was a whole thing and all this and that. She was like, well, the old place will still bill you. But then I'm not getting any bills at the moment. So they have not sent me anything. It's just a disorganized mess, essentially, which is how actually paying for therapy has been this entire time. But I know I pay my copay. So I just set aside the copay regardless, and I don't touch it. That way, whenever they do get around to sending me the bill, I can just easily pay it. Moving on from there, I have $145.85 in my Amex annual fee category. If I would like to make a decision on canceling this, because I selfishly, or like, I want to move this money to my cruise if I can, because that would help me with that. Because if you watched my last video, we are going to be ambitious for the next 2.5 months to get to that goal. So I'm going to need all the dollars I can find in the bank account, in addition to the paycheck money. And then also in addition to, I need universe to be on my side, like no issues with the tires, blah, 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 in order to reach that goal. YNAB subscription's been humming along in the background. Costco, same thing. Christmas and holidays, have I spent anything else? All I've spent so far is I got a t-shirt for Nathan, $25 for the toy drive, and $6.43 at the garden center for poinsettia. So I still have $9.75 remaining. For Christmas, what I'm currently thinking about, my sister called me the other day because her dog, Ginger, we think that she's 14. She's a Cocker Spaniel. We think maybe she has, like, you can tell she's old. Like, she might be declining in health. So we think maybe she might have some issue because she's had weight gain. I keep interrupting myself. She's had some sort of weight gain, and essentially, long story short, we kind of wonder if she might have some sort of heart issue, like fluid buildup. So my sister called me and she had asked me if something were to happen, like if she takes Ginger to the vet and she needs like something like a test or whatever, if I'd be willing to help pay for it and her pay me back. I think this is kind of interesting because on YouTube, I've seen a couple of personal finance videos, like whatever. I don't know if it's like a Christmas thing or what, but people like the Money Guys did one. I think Nick True did one, maybe. Don't quote me on that. About just like lending money to family members and whether or not you should do that. I know for a lot of people, it's usually not a good thing to do. In my head, I told her it kind of depends because I don't want her to be uncomfortable, but she's already 14, so we're not going to throw thousands of dollars at a problem when it's not going to meaningfully extend her lifespan. So it's trying to find like the middle point on that. Because if it's something like, oh, she can have a medicine and maybe she'll be okay for like a couple more years, like that's fine. I have no problems with that. But I'm not going to do something. If we're not going to spend money, we're not going to spend thousands of dollars on something if she's just going to die in like a couple months. To put it that way, which is tough. Like when you have pets, it's very tough to like decide their end of life care, like how much or how little should you do. But I was like, it's hard to say without knowing what the problem is. I bring all of this up to say, once she had said that, like asked me about it and said that she had an appointment, in my head, like for context, let me give you context. This is our childhood dog. So we got her when, like my mom got her when we were like, I was 13 and my sister was 14. Then she kind of became, like my sister became her favorite. So it's kind of like her dog now. My sister still lives at home with our mom. So like I'm not just, essentially it's our childhood dog who happens to be like her favorite person happens to be my sister. You see what I'm saying? So lots of connections to Miss Ginger. I'll put up a photo of her actually because she's so cute. But when she had asked me about that, I was thinking in my head, I don't want to make any large purchases for Christmas. Like I don't want to go all out on gifts if I might be better served to take this money, and I would rather gift it to my sister, even if I never got the money back. Then I'm not too concerned about it because it's like, you know what I'm saying. Like the way I lend money is I make peace with the fact it may never come back to me. Before I'll even lend it out. And I don't lend money almost ever. In my head, I was like, well, if something is happening with Ginger, or God forbid, like she does, like something, they're saying like it's something that she's in pain, like maybe she should put down. Like I was prepared to spend that money. And I was going to just take it from my holiday spending and just reduce how I spent money on everyone else, which you might disagree with that decision, but that's why I've not spent any money on Christmas essentially yet. All that to be said, all that to be said, the appointment got moved and it's going to be like the weekend. It's going to be next Saturday. So we still don't know what the problem is, or if we'll follow through with the appointment, I guess. So without knowing what the actual problem is, I don't know how I'm going to spend my Christmas and holiday money. Also, if something is wrong with if something is wrong with my tires, that's probably going to be my focus. I want to give people gifts, but there are just things going on that are a little, I wish they were a bit more certain. I don't know. That's what's happening there. My auto category has 150. I need to get back into my sinking funds. I wanted it to start at the beginning of the year, but it might start in the Q2 / it'll happen. I'll start consistently contributing these again whenever disaster strikes, I guess, which is maybe coming soon with the tires. So not my best moment, but I still have other money if push comes to shove. Then there's YouTube, which I've set aside money to do a giveaway but I keep not, I don't know what video to do a giveaway on, and that's that. So I'm just like, maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to decide. Pet insurance has 115 in there. I've made a sinking fund for this. I'm happy about that. Food, treats, vet, YouTube Premium, fun money. I have exactly $338 in here, so that's good to know because I want to buy like WNBA tickets. Beauty. Oh, this is for my haircut. Okay, good thing I remember because I was like, why do I have $100 in here? I should move it. Then all my credit cards. As far as, let me get to the reflection tab and see how the month of December is going so far. Not amazing. So far I've spent, I'm not going to get into major details, but it looks like most of this, or not most, a significant portion of this, select all. If I remove the Roth IRA, I've spent $1,597.28 so far, which, what's happening here? Groceries, spin classes, the groom. This is more or less kind of standard spending. So that's nice. And then the Roth IRA. This is not going to be a cheap month, regardless of how it shakes out. That is just how it is, because it's December. If I go into toolkit reports, I think they have something. Actually, let me check reflection. Like, I think if I go into, there is, oh, here it is. So if you scroll down, like if I'm on food, I scroll down, it tells you, let me look at November, because I was looking at this a while ago. Average monthly spending for November 2024 on food. Oh, well, food is, I spent $511.79, which means my average daily spending on food was $17.06. My most frequent category was dining out, and my largest outflow was $50 to Longhorn Steakhouse, which I'm like, that's not really that bad, actually. But the reason why I bring this up is because if you feel like you just can't get a handle on your food spending, but you've been using YNAB for a few years, and you have that history of data, what you can do, so if I look at the last 3 months, it says I've spent $1,500 on food, which, but yeah, it's about in line with $503.79, is about $500 is what I spend each time. My average daily spending over this time period was $1,643. Now let me go back to 1 month at a time. So if I go to, well, let me see what December says. Right now, it's saying my average daily spending is $844. As I get closer to the end of the month, it'll have a better idea. So looking at October, I did a lot worse with food spending. I spent $738.01, and my average daily spending was $23.81. The way I understand this is, what I'm doing with this information is I'm essentially comparing how much does it cost for me a day to eat the way that I do. I feel like I'm all over the place with this, but what I'm thinking about is how much does it cost to eat like me? And in October, it costs almost $23.81 a day to eat like me, which if you're struggling with getting the overall number down, maybe this average daily spending will help you more. Because then you'll start being like, okay, is there cheaper meals that I can make in order to, that'll naturally essentially bring down the overall number, because if I'm making cheaper meals per serving, you know what I'm saying. If I go into September, my average daily spending was $23.45. All of this makes sense to me because I was not doing well in those months, like mentally, so I was not cooking a lot. But if I want to check like inflation, or just perhaps whether that's lifestyle inflation or regular food inflation, let me go to all dates. So between August 21st and December 2024, I've spent over $20,000 on food. So like, what is that, 3 years? That comes out to an average monthly spend of $496.23. There's one transaction in here that's skewing the numbers, but for the most part, this is accurate. It's $16.29. a day on daily spending. Now let me just go into and do it custom. Let's look at 2022, like all of 2022. All of 2022. Is this it? No, okay. 2022. I was like, what is going on? December 2022, I spent $4,662.47 on food. It kind of splits pretty evenly between dining out and groceries. My average monthly spending in 22 was $388.54 and came out to an average daily spend. So how much it cost to eat like me that year was $12.77 a day. If I compare it to this year, it's already costing $19.57 a day to eat like me. And you could argue, well, some of that is dining out too much, because if we look here, most of this money it's skewing differently, but I've also added some different categories. But you can just, if you're wondering why you're spending so much on food when you don't feel like you've really changed anything, the cost of shit has just gone up. And you can always reflect on, am I eating differently? You might be, and you can cut back on that. But even if you do cut back on that, you still have to understand that is the way, how much it costs to eat like you a couple years ago versus now is just different. It's just more. So if it costs $6 so if I'm spending $19.57 on average a day on food now, in 2022, I was spending $12 and whatever cents. That's like what, a $6 or $7 difference a day. And if I multiply that out across 30 days, that adds up quite a bit. So it's not a surprise that you're spending more on food. I guess that's what my long diatribe is about. I'm curious what 2021 was like. August through December of 2021, because I don't have a full year of data. Okay, I keep screwing this up. December 2021. My average monthly spend was only $300. So between when I started and now, I'm spending $200 more on average a month on food related expenses. My average daily spend has almost doubled. So how much it costs to eat like me has almost doubled. And if I'm spending $200 more on average a month, that means from a year difference, it's like $2,400 more dollars. I don't know. I don't know if anyone cares, but I find that very interesting. So don't forget to scroll all the way down and look at your different reflections on here if you're using YNAB. We're not going to get into the toolkit reports. I think I've talked enough. So thank you for watching. Let me know how this week went for you, and I hope it went well. If you want to support my channel, you can like this video. It really does help me out. Or if you want to stick around for more budgeting and finance content, we keep it long-winded around here. We love just going off the cuff. I will just talk about whatever I want to talk about. Subscribe and stick around. But yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your week or a great week. Thank you. Bye.